What if someone cared? What if a journalist was willing to stick his neck out for the sake of the people? What if truth could be found using nothing more than a camera, a microphone, and a heart of gold? I'm setting out to tackle the issue that everyone at Iowa is thinking about, but nobody is willing to cover. I'm setting out to ask the questions none of the other reporters are asking. I'm setting out to report the most awesomely troubling news you've never heard. And let me tell you, I'm about to blow the lid off this story.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge my milkshake.
I knew that if I was going to get all the answers about milk on campus, I would need to start from the top. So I marched into UISG offices and talked with student government insider Bridget Henry to find out what is going on with milk on campus. Unfortunately, the interview went nowhere fast.
Milk doesn't have a real personal effect on me. I don't like to drink it. Milk has not been a top priority for me. UISG doesn't care about milk this year.
What is it that you have against milk?
I don't have anything personal against milk. I just don't like the taste of it.
Are you giving me the roundabout right now?
I might be.
After getting the roundabout from Bridget, I sat down with UISG veteran Kevin Hansen and pinned him to the wall with my biting questions.
Down our throat. Why is milk not up there? What is the difference between milk and diversity on campus? Why does UISG pick and choose one and not the other?
After several minutes of political hogwash, Kevin finally answered,
Diversity is a perpetual issue. It's every year. The best way to learn is to have diverse minds, diverse groups of people around you, and promote diversity on campus.
What's the best way to learn about milk?
The best way to learn about milk would be to Google it.
I did just that. And I think it would surprise Mr. Hansen that my search for milk provided over 158 million results. Coincidentally, typing in Kevin Hansen only brought up 10.3 million results, and UISG, less than 60,000. Was milk really not an issue? I needed to start my investigation from the beginning. I needed a grassroots approach, so I went to the magical place where it all begins, a dairy farm. William Norton and his family have been milking cows for decades. He graciously let me and my camera roam around the farm to get a feel for where that beautiful white nectar of the gods has its genesis. The whole process begins with the udder, more specifically, the cow teat. Suction cups are attached to the teat, and they pump the milk into a jar on the other side of the barn. The milk is then filtered and sent into an 800-gallon cooling tank, which must be emptied daily. Nowhere along the way does the milk ever come into contact with open air. When the milk leaves the cow's udder, it is generally over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. After 2 hours in the cooling tank, that temperature drops to about 38 degrees. Yes, dear viewers, I learned quite a bit about milk in Iowa. Did you know that last year, Iowa produced almost 4 billion pounds of milk? And that there are over 2,000 dairy farms in Iowa with over 193,000 dairy cows? Nationwide, Iowa ranks 12th in total pounds of milk produced, 9th in production per cow, 7th in cheese production, 4th in ice cream production, and our very own state capital, Des Moines, Iowa, is the #1 city per capita in the consumption of milk in the nation. With all this information at hand, I wondered if this was the first time our political spinster had downplayed milk as a non-issue.
I'm increasingly getting the feeling that I'm getting the roundabout right now. Are these the kind of answers that you give other reporters and investigators seeking milk information?
I've never actually dealt with another milk investigator or reporter, and I wish I knew what I was going roundabout. I just don't see an issue there. I'm sorry.
I was furious. I had been given the roundabout again. But I needed to stop and remember why I had gotten involved. I was doing it for the university. I was doing it for the students. So I went back to find out what the bottom line was.
Are you going to make milk a priority?
I'll be willing to make milk a priority when there's a student interest to make milk a priority. I don't think, if you are digging through something, I don't think there's anything that you'll uncover.
Really? I wonder what my expert friend Kathy Mellon, dietitian at Student Health Services, had to say about the dilemma surrounding milk at Iowa.
I would say, in general, students don't get enough milk throughout the day, whether that's milk or yogurt. I see students eat a lot of dairy from cheeses, but not much in terms of drinking glasses of milk or eating cartons of yogurt throughout the day.
So what do you see as kind of the major milk issues on campus?
A couple of things. Sometimes students that are living in the dining halls don't like to drink the milk because it's not the same brand that they're used to drinking, so they prefer one sort of brand, and what's in the dining halls isn't what they like the taste of. So that's part of it. Other times students find that the milk spoils on them in their apartment. Generally that's just because they're not drinking it quick enough, and then when it spoils they're frustrated because they've had to waste it, and then they're less likely to buy it the next time that they're at the grocery store.
Our expert seems to think milk is an issue that needs to be addressed immediately. But what about the guys on the ground floor? Would Bill Kelly, the assistant manager at Burge Marketplace, a man in charge of providing milk for masses of students each and every day, would he say that milk is prevalent on campus?
Well, I think, they speak by what they get, that speaks volumes that they're taking so much milk. So I think it's pretty important to the students from a nutritional standpoint, and just, for, convenience. Students like milk for the flavor, put on their cereal, things like that. They do a lot of different things with milk.
I caught up with one of Bill's employees, University of Iowa student David Novotny, to see if Bill's comments were valid.
What do you see in the student consumption of milk? Are they mad for it? What's the popularity of milk?
I would say the milk is very popular here because we have 5-gallon bags of milk, and these things are just ginormous. I mean, they're 5 gallons, and we go through. Well, let's put it this way, they have a milk and Coke guy for a reason. You know what I mean?
Dave's job involved monitoring the milk dispensers and refilling them when need be. During our interview, I could tell that David was an intelligent young man, and that he had put a lot of thought into these milk issues.
Well, if I was to do a confidence interval where indexical values of relevance and things of that nature, I'd use a Z-star value of about 2. That's which is mass-produced has little value. But it's like an old esoteric, there's more to milk than meets the eye. There's 9 other possibilities, even more than 9. There's 9. There's 12.
Does it take a special kind of person to be in charge of the milk and Coke?
When in terms of the type of people that they hire for milk and Coke, it's definitely they need a specific type of person for this. I like to think that the milk and Coke guys combine the strength of a bull and paradoxically the fierceness yet gentle peering power of an eagle, because they gotta know when that milk they have to be constantly observing, and they have to move in for the prey. But at the same time, an eagle might, get a fish, but that's pretty light grab. But we have to be able to pull 5-gallon bags. If you haven't picked up one of those things, they're quite heavy. So that's where the strength of the bull comes in. So not everyone can be a milk and Coke guy.